LA Knight, who's easily one of the most popular superstars right now, which has made some of his booking on TV baffling and frustrating to the fans. Knight seems to rarely pick up victories, including in high-profile matches he was the favorite to win, leading some to claim that he's being buried by WWE. Some disgruntled fans have even claimed that Knight is being buried because he got over with the fans without WWE's help, but this couldn't be further from the truth. During Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer made it clear that LA Knight is not getting buried by a long shot, and that WWE just wants to take their time with him. BWE have also confirmed that despite his recent losses, WWE has a segment at SummerSlam for Knight, which could turn into a match. We've seen in the past when talent who are starting to get over naturally only to get overpushed by WWE, leading to the hostile babyface runs of John Cena and Roman Reigns. WWE has a naturally over babyface, which is a rare commodity these days, and while Knight will surely be picking up regular wins down the line, WWE is in no rush to push him quickly at this time. Last week, SmackDown saw multiple changes take place behind the scenes due to what is believed to be COVID-related reasons, as a talent either tested positive or came into contact with someone who did. On Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer confirmed reports that the Io Sky vs. Charlotte Flair match was not a part of the original plan, adding that it was a last-minute change. Despite this match not being planned until very shortly before the two made their way to the ring, Flair and Sky had an impressive and entertaining bout, a testament to the talents of both women. At Money in the Bank, John Cena spoke about his goal to bring WrestleMania to London, and while we know next year's show will be in Philadelphia, it seems that WrestleMania 41 won't be in the UK either. Fightful reports that Minneapolis is being heavily discussed in WWE as a possible host for the Showcase of the Immortals in 2025, likely in the 73,000-seat US Bank Stadium, but we'll have to wait for an official decision by the promotion. Next January, WWE will kick off the road to WrestleMania 40 with the Royal Rumble event, which will be the 7th event to feature 2 Royal Rumble matches. This year's show took place in the Alamo Dome, which hosted the Rumble in 1997, 2007, and 2017, but there is a lot of debate as to where next year's show will be. PW Insider Elite reports that WWE is planning to host the show in Florida, but a precise city is proving hard to decide on. The 2 leading favorites are Orlando and Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, which fans may remember hosted the Thunderdome during the pandemic from December 2020 to April 2021. WWE is said to be going all out for WrestleMania 40 to celebrate the milestone number, and we'll just have to see where the road to the biggest show of 2024 begins. When AEW announced the return of CM Punk, the response was mixed to say the least, and the former world champion has drawn a similar response from crowds. While cheered in his native Chicago, Punk was booed heavily in Canada, and this reaction was so loud, the commentary team couldn't help but acknowledge it. During Wrestling Observer Radio this week, Dave Meltzer stated that Tony Khan is doing all he can to get fans to cheer Punk, including pairing him with Darby Allin. Allin is considered one of the most beloved stars AEW has, which is why the pair were put together on the latest Collision, and Allin effectively endorsed the controversial star. Khan may have plans, but fans will still let their voices be heard, and as we reported, Punk received a "F you" chant from some in the crowd after Collision in New Jersey. Ultimately, fans will feel how they want, which may disrupt Tony Khan's creative plans, and despite wanting to be different to WWE, Khan will use methods to ensure that CM Punk is cheered. It was at Slammiversary that Eric Young returned to Impact Wrestling, months after he refused to take orders from Vince McMahon following the chairman's WWE return. Young signed a new deal with WWE last November but never appeared on TV prior to his exit earlier this year, and it turns out that Impact Management wanted him to give WWE another chance. Speaking on Busted Open Radio, Young explained how Impact's president Scott D'Amore tried to convince Young to re-sign with WWE, believing EY would have a better time in the company. "I talked to Scott before leaving last time in 2022, and I didn't want to leave then. It's a wild thing, and Scott himself, who is a very honest person and a blunt person, he goes, 'I'll punch you if you don't leave.' Those were his words, and I don't think he would have, but he might have tried, you never know. He's a bit of a wild man." While losing a veteran like Young would surely have hurt Impact, it goes to show the friendship between EY and D'Amore, who ultimately wanted what's best for his Team Canada ally. Young's return to WWE didn't go as he or D'Amore had hoped, and he's now back with Impact, where he'll no doubt be relieved to be working with the Impact Wrestling president again. As a veteran of the ring, Rob Van Dam has helped inspire several wrestlers, and this week LWO member Zelina Vega shared a tribute of her own to the former WWE champion. On Twitter, Vega shared a picture of herself in an airbrushed bodysuit, along with the caption, "One of a kind," in a clear nod to the legendary high flyer who became iconic with his airbrushed singlets. As one of the biggest stars in wrestling and entertainment, WWE is always eager for The Rock to appear, but his busy schedule in Hollywood often makes a return very difficult. Recently, the Great One traded some barbs on social media with Grayson Waller after the Aussie laid claim to have the better debut in MSG, and now Waller has continued to tease a feud with The Rock. Speaking on MMA Hour, Waller said that The Rock working with him would make the Brahma Bull relevant again, adding that he did just that with the likes of John Cena and Edge. Waller also brought up the ongoing SAG-AFTRA union strikes, claiming that The Rock is technically unemployed, and mocked the former champion for using the same insults he's been using for 15 years. Waller once again offered The Rock a spot on his Grayson Waller Effect talk show, and as we've previously reported, there are plans in place for a segment to happen at SummerSlam. This segment, like what we saw with John Cena, will see The Rock get the better of Waller, but it'll all depend on whether The Rock is able to make the show and feels comfortable doing so. While WWE would love for The Rock to be in Detroit, the ball is firmly in the court of Dwayne Johnson. And what do you make of plans for The Rock and Waller to have a segment at SummerSlam? Rhea Ripley will likely be a part of SummerSlam, and during a recent WWE live event, made her views very clear to the fans in Monterrey, Mexico. During an intense triple threat title match, the Women's World Champion taunted some fans, slapping her backside and telling them to kiss her ass. Though knowing how some of the fans feel, they'd probably take the Australian up on the offer. With his colorful collection of masks, Rey Mysterio is like a real-life superhero in WWE, and it's rare to see the Hall of Famer without his mask on. On Twitter, Santos Escobar shared a photo with his LWO ally, who still covered the bottom half of his face, but it is still a rarity to see this much of the former world champion's face out in public. And we're ending with Roman Reigns, who is as serious as they come whenever he appears on WWE programming, but recently the undisputed WWE Universal Champion showed off a funnier side backstage. On Instagram, Reigns shared a video of himself getting oiled up, and after claiming he had the best skin in the business, offered to trade some for some of the hair of referee Charles Robinson. Robinson's bleach blonde locks led to the senior official being dubbed Little Nate for his resemblance to Ric Flair, and it goes to show that there's still a funny bone in the menacing Tribal Chief.